Yes.
And, yeah, and I mean, it works good because you can look at that thing and see like the bottom 10 guys, and anybody who's been here longer than a month, if they're still in the bottom 10, that's horrible. They need to just bounce out.
Well, I mean, there have been times in
The only issue though is you can't bounce them unless you have someone come in. That's the issue.
Like there were times that like I'd be making the schedule and I'd be like, oh god, and you get to those like last 6 of 10 dudes and you're just like, and then like there have been times I've came and been like, dude, I can seriously just go through and put people on shows and not feel bad.
Do you remember in 2005, 2006 when we had Willie was in his A game and Jay was on going, and we had Keith and we had you going out. Jason was going. We just had like every single guy that went out was money. I had like 30-something guys, and it was just unbelievable. And that was the year that we also grew by like 40%. Just boom, because you guys were every show was like people calling the next day, being like, hey, we seriously did 40 shows. We probably had 8 or 9 people call the next Monday wanting to book a wedding just from seeing them. It's just viral. So I want to encourage you guys. That's the power, of people. And if people see a guy, like let's just say Justin really gets into taking photos. He's really excited about it. He's really working his thing, getting into it, doing the photos, the sports thing. Other people will see that and go, I want to be a part of that. Whereas if the guy's like, oh, I have to be here. Suppose I'm here. You know what I mean? And I think at Fasciano's we got to be careful of that sometimes too when we're there. And like if we're at an event where that's not successful, it's not a right place for us to be and it's not working well. If we keep being there, maybe it puts off the status, puts off the message to potential people that, okay, we don't want to be here either, and it's not really working too. You know what I mean? And you want to always put yourself in a situation where it's a positive vibe there. Does anybody else have something else you wanted to throw in there?
One thing I love about the chapter, he did make the point that in talking about the right people for a team, the character is so much more important than necessarily even the viewpoints. I love that he included that some of these top companies, most of the executives didn't have the same viewpoint. In fact, they fought like hell in the meetings because they're all trying to do what's best for the company, but they're coming from so many different angles, yet they stood behind the final decision. So,
yeah, I think the contrarian perspectives is huge. Now, as we're moving forward, chapters 4, 5, 6, as we move through, they're going to have a lot of specific action steps we're going to have to implement. Right now, what he's trying to do is say, here's what a good person, here's what a good employee looks like, here's what a level 5 leader looks like. Now, we have to get these people on the bus. Now he's moving forward to give you specific action steps. So next week should be a week full of specific action steps. So the homework for everybody next week is I'd like for you guys, when you get to the end of the chapter, I'd like you to write your action steps in your book at the bottom. And that way, when you come to the meeting, you're like, hey, after reading the chapter, here are the 4 or 5 things I thought of to do. Just write them in the book there. Is that cool?
You guys have to conference call us in Colorado next week.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to point out too, though, was that,
Why?
and that'll be us. You'll be asking us, are you guys drunk?
You guys drunk?